with whatever you're experiencing, even with your sicknesses. And if you can do that, you find it's amazing just how a little change of attitude can actually heal your body. Remember that fellow Patch Adams who used to go, and he was a doctor, used to visit his patients dressed as a fairy? I mean, do you do that in your hospitals, all the doctors here? Dress up when you visit your patients and do a bit of a funny dance or whatever it is. That degree of happiness, it does make you healthier, which is one of the other reasons why I tell silly jokes, because it makes me happier. And the medical, you're going to get this one again, you've heard this hundreds of times, but how many people here have not heard the carrot joke? That's enough for me to tell it. Even if there's just one here, I'll tell it. One of you was putting their hands up, oh no, not the carrot joke again. This is one of my favourite jokes, and it's a really a doozer of a joke. And it fits this talk about health. There were two carrots walking down the street. Let's call it the streets in Perth. And one of the carrots got hit by a drunk driver. He was really badly injured. The other carrot got out his mobile phone and called the ambulance. Came in 3 minutes. And the medics came out of the ambulance. They looked at the injured carrot. This is serious. They put him straight into the ambulance. And with the other carrot, his friend, in the back of the ambulance as well, they sped to the hospital. Straight into the emergency department. The triage nurse took one look at the injured carrot. Surgery. It was a touch and go, a matter of life and death. And his friend went into the waiting room and was just so anxious. Is his friend going to survive this terrible accident, or is he going to die? And if you've ever been into the waiting rooms in hospitals, especially in the emergency department or in the ICU waiting room, that's such a tense place. And anyway, after 2 hours, the surgeon came out. And he said, Mr. Carrot, I've got some good news and bad news about your friend. He said, the good news is he's going to survive. He's going to live. The bad news is, because of his injuries, he's going to be a vegetable for the rest of his life. That was a great thing. I could say that without bursting out laughing myself. I took a lot of restraint. That's one of the most stupid jokes I've ever heard. And that's why I loved it. A vegetable for the rest of his life. Anyway, let's go back to meditation. So what am I doing telling silly jokes on a meditation course? Because that joke, a bit of laughter, has just made you healthier, give you more energy to your mindfulness, and afterwards you can have a much better meditation. It works. The happiness, the energy gives an oomph to your mindfulness. And it makes it easier to meditate. Because afterwards you sit down and look at this stupid joke, you start giggling to yourself, but then when the giggle stops, you've got energy, you've got positive mind state, and it's so easy to meditate then. And if, the jokes don't work, I've already mentioned to you that sometimes in the start of meditation, or is it just in the interviews? In the start of the meditation, just think of the most peaceful, beautiful experience you've ever had in your life. And the happiest time of your life. You bring it up at the beginning of the meditation. You start yourself off with a boost of happiness, free happiness. Because every one of you have had some time in your life and been very peaceful, happy, really content, the sort of contentment where you don't want anything else in the world, no one else to be with you, nothing missing. Those moments of real deep happiness and contentment. Now you sit down, get yourself comfortable, and think about that. Think about that beautiful time. And don't just think about it for 1 second, really get into it. For about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, the longer the better. And then when you want to meditate, you let the memory go. You're left with the peace, you're left with the happiness. It lingers. And it's so easy to watch the breath and do meditation afterwards, or whatever else you're going to watch. You've developed a positive mind and a happy mind an energized mind. So that's actually how we can, instead of just sitting there, okay, watch the breath, oh, I'm terrible watching the breath, I can't do this. How much longer do I have to do this? You can see just how that negativity stops you meditating. So instead you have a playful mind, an energized mind, a happy mind. If you haven't got any energy just because of the talk just given and thinking about the stupid jokes, you sit down here and remember the most peaceful experience, the happiest time, and you're back there. Free happiness, free peace, available at any time. I don't know why it is that sometimes people, they look at the past and think, that person who banged the door last night stopped me sleeping, I couldn't sleep after they did that. And if you keep thinking like that, you are going to have bad meditation, if any meditation at all. And you're going to make yourself sick as well. What you're learning here is something very powerful. You have the power to choose the happy experiences, to choose kindness instead of negativity. And little by little you start to do that, and the mind wakes up, the body gets healthy, and it becomes so easy to meditate. The first time I was meditating, I never thought that happiness was important. I thought it was just, maybe a byproduct which came about sometimes and sometimes didn't. It was only hanging out with someone like an Ajahn Brahm, who was a really, really happy monk. You realised that happiness was an important part of meditation. To create joy in your heart as a beginning preparation for meditation. Because when you're happy, it's so easy to meditate. And then, of course, when I started learning Pali, the language of the Buddhist texts, you saw that again and again. It came out at you, jumped out at you. The happy mind is easy to make still. Samadhi pachaya yatha bhutayana dasana. That's the other one. Sukhino cittang samadhiyati, said the Buddha. Sukhino cittang samadhiyati. That's in Pali. It means the happy mind is easily to bring to samadhi, to stillness. The happy mind is. And the Buddha kept on saying that. It must be 100 times at least in the suttas he said that. The miserable mind is impossible to bring to stillness. The happy mind is. So that's why we develop happiness as a cause for our meditation. So if you're having a bad time, you're feeling really dull and depressed, take a rest, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, whatever it is. Relax, don't fight the dullness with force. Don't fight depression. Just relax. Bring out some happiness. There's loads of places you can find happiness here. You can think of the stupid carrot joke. You can think of all the other stupid things. And you can find just... Now watch the animals. The animals are always really funny to watch. They always do stupid things. The other day we left a bowl out in front of the kitchen at Bodhinyana. And to see one of these parrots washing itself, it was just so ungainly, just feathers flying everywhere, sprinkling, all these other parrots waiting in line, and they all got sprinkled with the stuff. And they're just so cute to watch. That's why people watch nature channels, because they're really funny and people laugh at the antics of animals. Come in the evening and see the kangaroos eating our grass on the lawn, whatever. They're just incredibly funny, these animals. There's so much happiness to get anywhere. And if you can just open your eyes and realizing it's important to have that happiness and to drink it from whatever source you can find it. And then you'll understand the importance of happiness, and that happiness is a cause for deep meditation. And that's why, I mess around a lot. 10 push-ups every morning. That soon makes you look silly. Getting a teddy bear, messing around with the teddy bear, that soon makes you happy. Thank you, hi Teddy. Those sorts of things. Or if you're getting very dull and on the meditation, how about meditating the opposite way around? Why do you always have to face this way? Turn around. Do it the other way. You'll find just doing something different like that changes the whole meditation. Get in a chair, get another chair in front of you and put your feet up and meditate. Yeah, this is nice. Try that. Do something a little bit stupid. Maybe I've been a bit careful what I'm saying here. I might get too far. Naked. Oh no, not naked, please. Do something a little bit stupid, and that gives a bit of happiness, and that gives energy to the mind. And that energy to the mind means you can very easily get into deep meditation. That's the way it works. So this is also helping get into deep meditation, getting nice healthy bodies and very, very positive mind states, so that that you come on this retreat, when you get out, wow, all those diseases that you had before, they're all gone. All those negativity are all gone. And you go back a new, born-again Buddhist. I don't know if that's the right word. But at least you go back there, whatever you are, born-again atheist, I don't know. Sort of, you go back there just a happier, healthier person. So thank you for listening. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And don't always do the same sadhus every time. Do them different.